and go.
All right, I'm Harvey Tallman, and this is survivalism. We were talking about guns and in the last segment, and there was something that I wanted to bring to light. I was talking about the Lee Enfield, and we had a comment about the mad moment, which is something that the British Army has been doing for 100 years. The average British soldier had to pass marksmanship by one of the criteria was to fire 25 rounds in a minute minimum. And one of the reasons why you can do that with an Enfield, I'm going to okay, this is an Enfield that I put together out of parts as a getaway gun. There's a 5-round stripper clip. An Enfield holds 10 rounds. Okay. You put the first 5 rounds in. Oops, come in. Strip them down. Okay. And then you, unlike other guns, you do not have to remove the stripper clip. Just hit the bolt. It's the only gun in the world that does it. And it gives you 2 seconds at least on every other firearm out there when it comes to a bolt action rifle. And that is one reason why I prefer an Enfield. That's just one of the reasons why I prefer an Enfield. And you pump the first round into the chamber, you fire it, and then when you throw the bolt open, you stick the next stripper clip in, strip them off, and you go back to business. It is a no-nonsense killing machine, is what it really is. The Germans hated the Enfield. They bitterly complained about it all through the First World War, all through the 30s. They said it was not in compliance with the Geneva Convention because of the ammunition that it fired. Because the ammunition it fires, when the bullet hits you, it tumbles. Oh, that was the big thing about the M16. The British were doing it in 1907 with the 1907 cartridge. It's heavier on the back end than it is on the front end, and when it hits, it doesn't travel through the body. It tumbles through the body, and the pictures, if anybody's ever seen them, of the Baron, the Red Baron, who was shot with a 303. The bullet went in his side, and it came out underneath the left armpit and left a wound that long, that wide. So, and they've been claiming for years that it was not in, it was as bad as a dum-dum cartridge, which is an expanding nose cartridge. Soft point. The other thing you should think about is you may need, for gardening or survival or for whatever, knives. This is I believe this is a Chinese copy of a World War II machete. They're good. If you sharpen them with a hammer, rather than a file. They sharpen up very well, very well. Hatchet. This is a tool and was designed for splitting cedar shakes and putting cedar shakes on a roof. It acts as a hammer, and it also acts as a knife edge, or as an axe head. And this is the type of hatchet that you want to go out and try to find, because they are worth having, believe me. Hunting knives. There you go. This thing has been around since the mid-30s. And I hate to tell you how many fish and rabbits and partridge and what have you that I have gutted with this thing. It belonged to my father, and you know, I wouldn't. I don't want anything fancier than this for hunting or for butchering. That's the best. This is a knife that my wife bought me a long time ago. Essentially the same thing, and you can put a razor edge on this, but it has a fold-out saw blade for cutting bone or for survival in the woods, whatever you need. This is a Hunter. That's the manufacturer. Another one that you should be thinking about is a good quality pocket knife. This is a pocket knife that I've been carrying for almost 40 years. Stout, heavy blade, and it just keeps going and going. You occasionally have to put a file on it if you sharpen it a lot to get the edge down thin enough, but this, you can put an edge on it, an edge sharp enough to shave with it. Now, there are guys, well, you know, I want a Marine Corps death point, and I want I want an SS dagger, and I want this and I want that. Okay? If you feel you have to defend yourself and you need a knife, there's the knife to have. That is a copy of a 12th century dagger which was designed to penetrate chainmail. The Hong Kong Police Department revitalized this in the 30s, or the 20s. And when World War II broke out, and after Dunkirk, when they put together the commando units, this was the official commando knife, because it'll penetrate anything. And you can put a razor edge on it. It otherwise, for, you know, and for stabbing and slashing, it's great, but you can't really use it for anything else. It's got a double edge on it, and you can't put your thumb against the edge for whittling or carving or whatever you're going to do, whatever you have to do. Just thought that's a World War I trench knife, same thing, with a double edge blade on it. This is not the original blade that was on the knife, and that's got a death's head on it. I don't know what you'd use it for. Suppose you could use it for cracking walnuts. However, this is a Indian-made Bowie knife. It isn't half bad. It does have, it is useful, but I'm not quite sure just how much abuse it could take before it's going to fail. There you go. This is a British government manufactured Gurkha fighting knife, originally designed by the Gurkhas, or by the people of Nepal, to be used as a machete for cutting brush to feed their animals. The Gurkhas carried them in combat, and those Gurkhas that served in North Africa against Rommel, the German soldiers went into a panic when they had to deal with them. These guys could crawl up behind you and in one whack take your head off. These are good knives. These are worth having because you can cut brush with them or you can cut heads with them. Just depends on what you want to do. That's an original. This is the knives that you can buy today, made in India. The blade isn't quite as thick. The steel isn't quite as good. It's about one step up from cold rolled steel, but they do work, and as you can see, that's been used quite a bit for camping and hunting and camping and hunting and that type of thing. If you can find them, that is a British paratrooper survival knife. Heavy. If I took this and slapped you with the back side of it or hit you with the flat, I could probably break your skull. Has a very broad and very sharp blade on it, and the paratroopers use them very well. You can cut big chunks of rope in one slice. You can cut through just about any clothing that anybody is wearing and still penetrate the blade 2 or 3 inches. As far as I know, these are still being issued to NATO troops. As far as I know today, these are still being issued to NATO troops. This is a NATO knife. This is a NATO knife. They're both marked that way as NATO knives. They are worth having on hand. I've built several bows and arrows, I've built several bows with this paratrooper knife. And then this is a plain ordinary piece of steel which I put on the forge, flattened out into a blade, and it throws very well. However, I do not recommend that you throw a knife because you can never tell if the knife is going to go into the person in the right direction. Also, this is an original Gurkha belt knife, and it has the British lion on it, and it kind of looks like it was made for the Gurkhas with a British lion head on it. It was definitely British, and the Gurkhas or the Indians wouldn't have put the lion head on it for any other reason. The other thing that I usually like to talk about, here, let me clear some of this stuff out of the way. You get people who are preppers. I don't like the term because I'm not prepping, I'm a survivalist. and they talk about, oh, how they've got all of the food, antibiotics, they got this, they got that, they've done fire drills in the house, and they have landmines, and they have all of this stuff going, but nobody talks about communication. Even if you get hit with a solar flare, or you are experience EMP, there you go. I have 10 field phones. I have 3 switchboards, and they run off of 2 D-cell batteries. So if the solar flare doesn't burn out the field phone, any components on the field phone, or affect the batteries, these will work, as long as the batteries will work. These are World War II, this is a TA-43 field phone, but these, some of the dates on them go into the 50s. And I got 2 that go into the 60s, and they're all compatible. And all you need is the batteries and wire to connect them up and use them. Put that back in here. And the other thing that people don't think about is fire. Propane lighters are fine. They work well. Take one and throw it somewhere for 2 years, and then walk over to it and flick it, and most of the time it won't work. Same thing with lighters that take lighter fluid. The lighter fluid evaporates out of it. It isn't any good. Get both of them wet and they don't work until they dry out. If you're freezing cold in the rain and you're trying to get a fire started, you got a problem. Steel and flint. Well, same thing. If you're in the rain and you're trying to get the fire started, steel and flint, you're going to get your tinder wet, and you probably won't be able to get a fire going. This is lighter fluid. This is a Q-tip swab. This is a survival flint and steel. Actually, I believe this came from the NRA. Whoops, here, I've got to do it that way. And there you go. You got a lighter. That is a very, very old method of starting fires that God knows how long it's gone back to, probably 1,000 years or more. But there you go. That's a good way of getting and you can use flint and steel and do the same thing. You can put a little bit of gunpowder on your tinder, but like I say, if you're in the rain, then you've got a problem. All right, I guess we're set with this one for now. I can't think of anything else to